I knew my boxer shorts were ruined, and that's another thing is I wore my lucky pair of boxers that day for the audition.
You weren't that lucky. I'm sorry. Hello, everybody. I'm your host, Jess, and this is Totally Bomb, the podcast where I invite on performers to talk about times they totally bombed. Today's guest is a friend of mine who I personally know as an indie author who's released over 30 books at least by now, probably way more than that, and who also is the bassist and singer in a band called Meat, Jeff O'Brien. Hey, Jeff, how are you?
Hey, Jess, I'm great. How you doing?
I'm good. Thank you for agreeing to be on the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
So, I like to let everyone kind of introduce how they got into what they do. So, how did you get started into releasing books, self-publishing, as well as performing in a band?
Well, the music came first. I grew up in a very musical family. My parents were always playing music when I was a kid. And I think my first memory in life is sitting on the floor of my room playing with my Star Wars action figures and listening to Fixing a Hole by the Beatles. Because my parents, whether it was the Beatles or Peter, Paul, and Mary, they loved just that early 60s folk and rock. So that's where the fascination all started. And I just started piano lessons when I was really young, like 6. And then it became drums. And then as a drummer in the band, the band members would always leave their gear at your house in my parents' basement. So
Yeah, you have the biggest thing to move.
yeah, so I would pick up my bassist's bass and practice that while he wasn't around. And I ended up really falling in love with that instrument the most. So that's how I became a bass player.
That's okay. I know the kind of music Meat makes, so it's really interesting hearing you go from Beatles to Can you describe Meat?
The best way I can describe us is I think the term that best suits us or subgenre would be grindcore. But we really throw a lot of elements of other kinds of metal subgenres into it. We love doom, we love sludge. And basically, those are all kind of the same thing, just played at different volumes and tempos. Grindcore is super, super fast and very growly, whereas sludge is super, super slow and very growly. So we do a little of both of that. The original idea was because we were both butchers. We met working in a meat room. And I think the idea was we were going to call the band Meat, and we wanted to make music that sounded like beef going through a grinder. So rather than listing off tons of subgenres that 90% of people or more haven't heard of, I'll just say we make music that sounds like beef going through a grinder.
That's the perfect description of Meat. How long have you been playing with Meat?
Meat, well, we first started talking about it in 2020. We finally got around to practicing in 2023. About halfway through 2023, we actually got serious. We were about to start playing shows, and then, I don't know if you remember, I had that little cancer diagnosis thing. So that set us back about 6 or 7 months until I was all healed up from that. So I think it was around.
It's a good excuse. It's a good excuse.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's valid. So then it was around August 2024 is when we started playing shows, and we've been going at it. So it'll be all in all about 2.5. I'll just say 3 years we've been doing it.
Okay, now let's go on to your writing. Can you give a brief how you got into indie self-releasing your own books, and how many do you have now?
Honestly, this sounds like a flex, but it's not. I've lost count, but the reason for that is I've unpublished things, rewritten things, revised things. Things have ended up getting released under different titles. I mean, if you look on Amazon, I think I have about 30 things that are current and in print and presented as they should be, but Amazon always has things that are out of print still there. Someone might be selling a used copy, so it still shows up on your author page. But I just say I've written about 30 books.
Cool. Like I own a few of them around here somewhere.
Much appreciated.
Okay, so we're going to get on to our fast flops, which is where we read other people's flopped stories and we just react to them. I pulled up a few musician ones and one author one. So I'm going to do the author one first. So this one is written by someone named Autistic Mama. So a lot of the author flops were all about from middle-aged smut women writers, all the book talk writers, a lot of them were. But this woman wrote, she said, I wrote a story called Band-Aid Solutions, wherein I managed to start the story with a minor injury and turn it into a very explicit lemon. I still cringe while thinking about it. If you could write, you've written a lot of smut books. I'm wondering if you could write a smut book about any inanimate object, what would it be?
Oh boy. I've always found piano legs to be very attractive. So I think there would be some type of penetration with the piano leg, and I could probably get a whole 50-page novelette out of that.
You know what? That would probably go wild on Book Talk.
I mean, sure.
I feel like people like Autistic Mama who write sexy books about Band-Aids will probably really like that.
Maybe I should just stop trying to sell books on Amazon and just start writing things on Book Talk. I mean, I've got tons of ideas that fly along the lines of sex with inanimate objects.
Just do readings on live, and they'll be gifting you all the things. They'll be like, "Yeah, give me more piano leg."
Well, thank you for opening my eyes to this. This is going to be the next chapter in my so-called career. Thank you.
In your journey, yeah. Okay, the next one is from someone whose account got deleted, so we don't even get to see their username. This is a musician one. This one kind of made me laugh. So I jumped off stage in the middle of a show once and landed square on a mic stand that wasn't being used.
Mm-hmm.
I mean square. Like right smack on my chode.
Yeah.
My balls were swollen and black and blue for a week. Not a fun experience.
I have seen such things happen. I hope that deleted user knows that he's really not alone. I've seen it happen more than once.
Your bruised balls aren't alone.
I mean, deleted user could be a former bandmate of mine.
Maybe. Oh my gosh, this post is from 15 years ago. So
that's when I was most active. I mean,
there you go. You might know this guy.
Yeah.
Here, I'll try to get a picture of his balls, and you tell me if they look familiar.
If I recognize those balls, I could definitely tell you his name.
Okay, the last one comes with a video component, so I'm just gonna read it first, and then I will pull up the video. Okay, this one's name is Roots Among Ruins, and they said, I played in a band that wanted to be the Arcade Fire. We had a full orchestra, multiple instrumentalists. We were never in tune, including the singer, and having 12 to 14 people in the band diffused responsibility in the sense that sometimes people wouldn't even show up for shows. We happened to be playing in the background of this guy just walking around with his camera. I cringe at all the bad notes. Needless to say, the band didn't last long. So I looked up the video. This video has 160 views, no likes, no comments.
Oh.
So it feels a little found footagey of a guy. Apparently it was a warehouse party. And this is the starting frame. But yeah, it's a guy just walking around with his camera at a party. Back in 2010, I think. It has a full intro. time capsule there. We're going to go ahead,
sure.
and then this is the band that apparently is the full orchestra with people not tuning their instruments.
Oh, no.
And so that's the band. I think they were too bad, except apparently they were like they were not teenagers. They were not, like they were older. So,
yeah, clearly.
They were doing their best. So, so if you share a fast flop, please provide video evidence, because I want to see the flop if it's possible. If you have footage out there, give it to me. But yeah, so thank you so much. If you have a fast flop out there, feel free to join our Reddit or DM me on any of the socials, and a future performer can react to your fails, because, we all fail sometimes.
Yes, we do.
So now I want to get into asking you, is there a time where you totally bombed?
It's not quite what you're looking for, but I'm going to tell it anyway, because it was about as humiliating as the traditional type of flop or bombing.
Humiliation is what I'm looking for. It's perfect.
Well, all right, so here it goes. I'm going to take you back to the year of 2005. I was a very young guy. At that point, I was, let's say, the night before, I went to a party, drank probably a case of beer, probably a pint of whiskey, smoked 3 or 4 packs of cigarettes, because that's just how I rolled back then. But the next late morning, I had an audition for a band. So the plan was I was going to meet the band at some suburb of Boston. And one of the members of the band had a drum set at his house. I was going to be the drummer, and they were going to bring all their guitars and amps, and we were going to practice at one member's house on his drum set. And I had suggested, like, well, why don't you guys just come to my place? And I think it was because in case I sucked, they could just kick me the fuck out and not have to like unpack and leave my house after telling me you suck, get out. So whatever. All that said, I went out to brunch before the audition, the girl I was dating at the time. And I mean, I was brutally hungover, and you know what something like that can do to your intestinal tract. So
oh yeah, especially beer, like.
Yeah, genius that I was, I got like a really spicy buffalo chicken quesadilla for brunch, and I'm pretty sure I polished it down with a couple other beers. So whatever. I mean, I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling fine.
Oh, to be young.
So me and my girlfriend at the time, we went to this restaurant that was pretty near where I was going to go meet those guys. So since there was drums there for me to use, I was just going to walk there from the restaurant. So we finish brunch, we go outside. I casually, light up a cigarette, and, I feel a little gas needs to come out. So very casually, I just kind of, move a cheek over to, let one out. I mean, it was straight fucking liquid, Jess. And strangely enough, it was cold. It was cold liquid coming out of my asshole. I knew my boxer shorts were ruined, and that's another thing, is I wore my favorite, my lucky pair of boxers that day for the audition.
You weren't that lucky. I'm sorry.
So I'm standing there like frozen, paralyzed in terror that cold liquid had just come out of my butthole. And then it dawns on me, oh my God, there's going to be more. So I say to my girlfriend, I'm like, I go home. I got to go take care of this. I'm going to be late for the audition. I don't know what I'm going to do. And she's like, what happened? It's like, I just shit my fucking pants. Just go, get away from me. I don't want to be seen like this. I got to get back in there and go to the bathroom. Bye. Love you. So I run back into the restaurant. And I'm like, I was just in here. I got to use the bathroom. And they're like, okay, yeah, fine. Go ahead. So I run in. I mean, I barely get my pants and my undies down to my ankles, and this wasn't even shit. This was not diarrhea. This was just brown water cascading out of my asshole like Niagara Falls, and it's splashing everywhere. I'm making such a mess. I look down between my legs. My lucky boxers are completely ruined. So I'm like, what am I gonna do? And I'm like, when I have a traumatic experience. I think it's never going to end. I'm like, I'm going to be stuck here forever shitting liquid. What happened? Like, did I lose control of my sphincter? Am I incontinent now? Is this the end of my life? So sure enough, I stopped shooting liquid out, and I gathered my wits.
The tap finally closed a
Yeah,
little. Yeah.
I gathered my wits about me. I'm drenched in cold sweat because I'm just so nervous. I had to throw my disgusting soiled Lucky Boxers into the trash. I think I went through about a whole half of maybe a whole roll of toilet paper, not just wiping my ass, but my ass cheeks and everything that had splashed all over me. And finally, somehow I still have time to walk to the audition from there. And I'm good. I'm like, okay, I'm good. So I'm walking down the street, like right through an outskirt of Boston. It's actually a nice spring day. I'm feeling, the breeze is nice.
You're feeling better.
I realize I'm feeling more of the breeze than I should be. And I'm like, why? What is going on here? And it was like the breeze was like on my balls. And I'm like, what? And I looked down. I had no idea that there was a huge rip on the inseam of my jeans, and my bag was just hanging right out. Now, like, insult has been added to insult to injury.
What do you do? Make like a hammock? Like rip off a sleeve?
And then I'm thinking, I'm auditioning to play the drums. I'm going to be sitting there. They're going to see my testicles on display as I'm auditioning to be in their band. And I didn't even know these guys. I had only met them once or twice when
I didn't know them like that. I wouldn't recognize their balls.
So I get to the apartment where this audition is supposed to take place, and they're all waiting out front for me. And they're like, "Hey, Jeff, glad you can make it." I'm like, "Hey, guys, we need to talk. Remember how I said I wanted to do it at my place?" And they're like, "Yeah. Well, we're here." I'm like, "Here's the thing, guys. About a half an hour ago, I shit my fucking pants. And I had to throw my underwear away in the Pizzeria Uno bathroom. And to add insult to injury, I've got a rip in my jeans, and like my balls are just hanging out. It would mean the world to me if we could just hop in the car. I know all your guitars and amps are still in there. Just go to my place, do it there. I want to take a quick shower, put some clean undies on, and then we'll do this audition." And luckily, they're like, "That's the most amazing story we've ever heard." And I'm like, "Thank you." And I can't wait to audition, and hopefully you guys like the way I play the drums.
That's so rock and roll.
And as it turned out, I got the gig. I passed the audition. I was in the band for about 2 years until they kicked me out because I was kind of an unreliable alcoholic at the time.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say it's because I shit myself again.
But that's so. So there's my. It's a very a long and extended flop and bomb. So there you go.
You were dropping bombs literally.
Yeah, I know. That's why when you mentioned bomb, I was like, okay, this I know the story I gotta go with.
Okay, I've been telling all the guests, I'm like, yeah, what is totally bomb to mean to you? And you were like, it means shit.
It means humiliating and shitting your pants.
You know what? As a 35-year-old woman with 2 kids, I feel like we've all been there. We've all shat our pants too. You know what? That's my new podcast.
Yeah.
Totally shat. All bombs all the time.
Who among us can say it hasn't happened?
Really? Like, it's, maybe not as embarrassing. Like, we don't all have balls to hang out.
Right. Yeah.
But we've all shat our pants for sure.
Yeah, it's happened to me on more than one occasion as a young adult because, as I said, I was drinking pretty consistently, cheap beer that tears your stomach apart. But that was the most impactful pants shitting I've had.
Sorry, your use of words really is coloring this for me.
That was how I knew I had to be a writer. The way I can describe such an act as, self-defecation. you take these tragedies, these filth and depravity ridden tragedies, and you turn them to golden prose. That's just what I do.
Yeah, you're just making art here. That's
Yep.
all that shit is.
Mm-hmm.
It's just your art. Oh my gosh. Okay, I like to ask all of the guests to kind of tell me, what advice would you give to someone who's maybe totally going through a totally bombed moment? What would you tell someone who's shitting their pants on the way to an audition right now? What would you tell them?
I just go with it. I mean, you might not get the audition, you might not be in the band. But if anything, they'll be impressed with your brutal honesty by telling them that you did shit your pants. And however that may end, you're gonna have. That was 21 years ago, and I'm still telling this story.
It's probably a lot funnier now. Yeah.
And so that right there, it's worth its weight both in gold and liquid diarrhea.
I really love the deeper meaning in there. It's
Yeah.
like, you never know when you'll get that opportunity again. You got to go for it. Like sometimes shit happens, and it'll be a good story in the long run.
And nevertheless, you must persist.
Okay, that was an amazing story. Have you ever had like an almost shit moment when you were on stage? And I'm saying this because I'll probably end up talking about this in a future episode, but my husband has had an issue where he almost shot himself while performing on stage.
I can only think of one close call band I was in, about almost 25 years ago at this point. We played some college show. All there was for food, this college was like out in the middle of the woods, so all there was for food was they ordered 30 or 40 pizzas from like the closest pizza place that was probably 10 miles away. And we had been on the road for hours before we got there, so like a starving animal. I mean, I maybe ate an entire pizza before I went on the stage, and it was also the middle of the summer in a hall with no air conditioning. So once I got up there and started playing, I started sweating and the gurgles were erupting. But I did manage to make it through the set, but I definitely threw my bass down and just ran as fast as I could and made it to the dormitory bathrooms in time.
This is why you're not supposed to eat too much before a gig. All that jumping around gets shit moving sometimes.
Moderation has never been my thing, and neither has common sense or forethought, because I knew I was going to be jumping around and playing heavy metal in a 90-degree room, but nevertheless, I persisted and I ate an entire pizza.
Nevertheless. Well, thank you so much, Jeff, for coming on. This was really fun. So just remember out there, if you totally bombed, at least you didn't shit your pants.
Look on the bright side, kids.
If you have anything you want to promote, of course, there will be links in the bottom of the episode, but here's your time to do it.
There's always Big Boobenstein, that little book I wrote. There's another newer, it's a silly book called Satanican, about demon-possessed mannequins. I mean, hey, look me up on Amazon. You'll find me. Check out my band Meat. Look up Meet the Band on Bandcamp and Instagram. I'm Jeff O'Grimacy on Instagram. I'm easily findable. If you should want to seek me out, I'm around.
He is. And yes, of course, I will have all those links below. Thank you again for coming on and telling everyone about your poop. I really appreciate it.
Anytime. Glad to do it.
Anytime. Thank you all so much for listening. Of course, if you have a bombed story, feel free to DM me or join our Reddit and post it there. It might be reacted to in a future episode. And of course, follow all of our socials. Check everything out. Check out all of our guests because they're all super talented, and they don't bomb all the time. And yeah, so thank you all so much. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye.